Today is Monday, and it's the first day of Mental Health Week, and I thought that was time for me to share a very personal story about mental health. The situation was I found myself standing on the ledge, looking down about 200 feet below me on the edge of the building, and I was thinking to myself, how am I going to kill myself? I decided that probably the most practical way was to go down head first with my hands tucked at my sides and land on my head. That way I would die quicker. That's a sad case to be in like that, and I'm just perhaps 1 in 4 of people who at some stage have suffered from mental health issues. And that really has led to my talk, which I'm going to be giving to a couple of clients this week in Mental Health Week, about the 5-step strategies to finding and following your own true north. And I think the key thing for me is the fact that we're always finding ourselves having to work at keeping ourselves mentally healthy. Just like earlier this morning, I went out for a 26k cycle ride as part of my training for a triathlon for the charity that my wife Lee has set up for the Inspiring Leadership Trust for the most vulnerable young women in society who themselves suffer, many of them, from mental health issues. And it's one of constantly having to keep yourself on purpose rather than off purpose, working on your mental health and your positive mindset and removing things that could get you down, and working on areas like whether you have sufficient income to resolve those so that you are not constantly anxious, depressed or worried. Which leads me on to stories of 2 clients that I have worked with recently. One, a very successful individual, and very successful throughout his life, made a lot of money, but the pressure of the work that he was doing really affected him to the point where his wife insisted that he talk to me. We'd worked together as clients some 2 years previously, but we worked through it just in the moment when he was at his lowest ebb. A strong man who didn't feel he needed to talk to anybody else. He just thought he could get on with it and do it himself. But through the process, we brought him back from the edge, and he's now incredibly fit, healthy, left a very destructive job in a very toxic environment where he was carrying on regardless of the fact it was affecting his mental health. And he is now in a great place, both with his wife and his young children, and also a highly innovative individual who's just designed a brand new app to help other people in need, and it's thriving and doing very well. The second story is of a very successful CEO who really pushed himself too hard, thought he could do it all, wasn't delegating enough, taking on, as well as being CEO, a couple of other people's jobs as well. And even though he was hugely successful, it was actually affecting his mental health and the way he was responding to other people and handling them. Really out of character with this amazing man. But it led to him losing his job, and really quite a period of shock and coming to terms with it. And however, working together, we've got him to a place where he's in a great state, fit, healthy, thinking well, reading a lot around his own development. And also, he's in a great place now where he's got an even better job that he's just about to start than he ever had before. So, that's just a couple of stories and my own very personal story. So my question is, what about you? Are you one of the 1 in 4 of us who have at some stage or will have at some stage mental health issues? Or do you know someone who does? Let's take the stigma away from it. Let's address it and work on the 5-step strategies to finding and following your own true north, because when you do that, then you're going to be far more successful and you can look after your mental health. Thanks, and have a good Mental Health Week.